Tether Hack? What the hell is a Tether Hack? Start the music and let's find out. There it is. The first sip of the day. Nah, I'm lying. I took a sip before. Anyway, this is Mark Shepard, and it is the Morning Cryptos as part of your Crypto Cranker's Guide to the Bitcoin Galaxy of Greed and Grooviness and the Hypnosis of Money. Every day I do this thing called the Morning Cryptos, where I just look through and see what's going on. I check and just kind of dip into the news and see if there's anything I should know about before I start flapping my lips. So I just Googled Bitcoin price, and the price comes up to 82.44. And reading that, you wouldn't know that it had kind of a bit of a sell-off last night. And I noticed that before I went to bed, but we'll see what happens. Bitcoin price, Ethereum price drop after Tether was hacked. Interesting. Untethered, Bitcoin shrugs off hack in push towards 8,500. So I'm going to go to CoinDesk because I don't like what Fortune does with all their ads. So we're just going to see what the hell is. For those of you who don't know, Tether, as far as I understand it, is, for example, at Bittrex, there's a token called a US dollar Tether. And instead of having the US dollar on their exchange so that you can take your profits into something that is pegged to the US dollar, they have this thing called Tether. And evidently there's a little shadiness about it. We'll see. Bitcoin has bounced back from losses seemingly arising from the hack of an alternative cryptocurrency revealed yesterday. As per CoinMarketCap, the Bitcoin US dollar exchange rate slumped to a low of 7,762 at 459 UTC before quickly recovering to 8,100. At press time, the cryptocurrency is changing hands at 8,090 levels. Despite the massive gyrations, Bitcoin is still up 0.666% on the day. The sell-off occurred seemingly after cryptocurrency firm Tether reported a $31 million theft of its dollar-pegged token US dollar Tether. As detailed in our update, Tether blamed a malicious action by an external attacker for the theft of $30 million worth of US dollar Tether on November 19th. Tether was set up as a proxy for US dollar that can be sent between exchanges, including Bitfinex, Poloniex, and others. Thus, the initial response from the market was cautious as traders weighed the possible market ramifications. However, Bitcoin soon recovered to $8,100 levels, possibly as traders absorbed the news of Tether's plan to lock up the stolen tokens by updating its OmniCore software client. So is the cryptocurrency poised for fresh record highs? Bitcoin could remain well bid as investors may price in the potential surge of institutional interest in the cryptocurrency following the listing of Bitcoin futures on the CME exchange anticipated December 11th. Further, the price action analysis shows no major signs of stress in the market. Okay, so in other words, somebody stole something. It didn't have a big effect on Bitcoin. Okay, whatever. All right, I thought it was something more interesting than that. But maybe it's interesting and I'm just too ignorant to know. So let's look at the actual chart, and I want to go to the 1 hour chart on Bitcoin so you can see. This is what happened last night as I was going to bed. It was just dropping like a rock. And the thing is, when it drops, and Bitcoin does this, there are precipitous drops, but there are also precipitous rises. And if you're going to be in Bitcoin, you have to get used to it. And the drop, often it's a double drop, right? So in this one, it went all the way down to its previous support, and then it went up again to its previous resistance, and it went down again a little past its previous support, or, testing the support of its previous support rather than the resistance of its previous resistance. Yeah, whatever. It's early. It's like a trampoline. Okay, Bitcoin is a trampoline. That's the beauty of it, because if you have a price rise and you were like, should I take profits? I don't know, it might go higher, and then it drops back, right? And then it comes back up to the same price where you're thinking of taking profits. You go, okay, I'll take it this time, right? That's what's happened to me a number of times with Bitcoin. It's like, oh, I missed it. 5 days later, right back at the same spot, boom, I took my profits. I remember July 19th, I took profits. And I remember I was grilling. I was right in the middle of grilling, and I was just, I'll check the markets. Like, whoa, it's back up to where it was when I wanted to take profits. And I was like, I don't care if the chicken burns. I'm taking profits. Boom, took it. So that's something you have to keep in mind. And the 1 hour chart is pretty helpful for checking that out. And there have been times I've looked at the 1 minute chart on Bitcoin, and that's a little obsessive and compulsive, but what the hell. So we came right back up. So the beauty is we have tested this support here, and it bounced through it a little bit, but it's just like boom. And this is just par for the course. This is what happens in Bitcoin. So if it freaks you out, and it freaks me out, I do not want to have $7,000 or $8,000 riding on this puppy, 1 minute, and it go, it's back down to 5,000 the next minute, and then back. It's like, that can really disturb your digestion. So let's look at Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash is doing something very interesting, and you can really only see it on the 1 hour chart. All right, so yesterday and the days before, I've talked about this rising bottoms pattern and multiple tops. And on a 1 day chart, something like this is pretty tradable. On a 1 hour chart, it did exactly what I thought it was going to do. Boom, it boosted. But then that US dollar tether news came in, and it dropped down like all the others, right? Boom, bounced right back to its kind of mid-range of this channel. So the thing is, there will be anomalies. You cannot look at anything and go, oh, that always happens. But this sideways channel, it definitely lifted, right? And if we didn't have that negative news, it might have lifted more. But in the meantime, the negative news kind of takes a little wind out of the sails, but then it starts sailing again, right? So that's the thing, is there are no guarantees, people, and there's a lot of room for the unexpected to happen. Okay, sometimes I get almost nauseous from trying to run this chart with my mouse. All right, so I am keeping an eye on Bitcoin Cash. I bought some at about this level, and I think so. I bought $100 worth. It's probably still worth $100 because that's kind of where I got in, right? But that's kind of the beauty of getting in on a sideways channel. And I would only use it on a 1 hour chart if it was fairly long enough. If it was multiple hours. But that's kind of how you see where the momentum of the market is going. And so hopefully that's helpful for you guys. I'm getting a lot of questions from newbies, and that's awesome. Some of my friends are like, okay, what do I do first? And I think I'm going to be making a video for you guys a little later today if I have time. If not today, then tomorrow. And we are looking at Dash. And Dash, on the 1 day chart, is making kind of a bullish flag here. It's really interesting. And we now have this kind of this weird double top. We did have a rise above it to 514, so it's broken through, but it couldn't quite sustain it. So the 1 hour chart, and okay, I identified the sideways pattern on the 1 hour chart, and the bottoms were higher, right? And now we have the bottoms are steeply higher on this 1 hour chart. So I think Dash is in the midst of a move. I would not buy any right now. The time you want to buy it is before it makes its move. So these sideways channels, they're not perfect, but they're kind of the best we have for kind of gauging what the hell is going on. And if we kind of pull back a little bit, we do have a nice, this was Dash's hourly huge bullish flag from basically, looks like November 12th or 13th. It's been just kind of going sideways. Then we had a little boost, and then it went back to its sideways, and then we had a really tight little range here, and then boom. So that's what we're looking for in places to get in, right? And you could get in anywhere along this range. You just have to be patient, particularly if it has really good support. You just have to wait till it makes its move, right? So let's go back to the 1 day. And what is going on with EOS? Dun, 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 oops. Oh, come on. I want it bigger. There we go. EOS, really steep up. Really steep up. And I want to show you that on the 1 hour chart. Whoops. I just showed you the 1 day chart after I showed you the 1 day chart. Okay, here we go. So EOS, this was a rising channel on the 1 hours. Just see how absolutely sweet this is. And every time it comes back down to the bottom of this channel where it is right now, that's a buy signal, right? If I didn't already have some, I would be like, okay, I'll get in here. This is not a bad place to get in today, people, if you want to get in with EOS. And it's rising, but it's not going parabolic. It's doing it in an upward channel that's very tradable. And here's this big drop from last night of the US dollar tether hack, and it affected it, but boom, it's getting ready to go, and it's a good spot to get in again, right? Right it back up. So I think EOS is a buy signal. Check it out. It is in the Exodus wallet, so if you have something you can swap for it, you might want to exchange some this morning. And let me keep going because this is a timely thing, and I want to get done with this. So you guys, if you want to, you can use this information. And again, none of this is to be construed as advice, official trading advice. This is just me doing what I do and thinking about what I'm thinking. Ethereum looking pretty good on the 1 day chart. It's up into this new territory, and I would suggest that it will start consolidating before it hits 400, but it may just go to 400 depending on how the day goes and how the news turns. On the 1 hour chart, Ethereum definitely, took a little hit from that news, but it went down to support here at 348-ish, 349-ish, 350-ish, and right back up. So that's good news. To me, that's really encouraging. I mean, the news articles are like, oh, yeah, oh, big pullback. It's not a big pullback, and this is going to happen. Every day, there's something that might change someone's mind, right? And these are charts of people's agreements, people's conversations, people's communication with each other about the value of something. And so that's some pretty fascinating hypnosis, people. All right, IOTA to the US dollar. Again, I don't have any IOTA. Someone in my comment section suggested there are a couple of US exchanges where you can get this. I've been just so damn busy that I'm like, you know what, I have enough to keep my eye on. And you can't do everything, but IOTA is looking pretty good. Again, I wouldn't necessarily get in right at this time, but keep an eye on it. The next time we have a pretty significant pullback, like if you had an order in on IOTA on an exchange to buy at an absurd level, like 0.73223800, right? You could have gotten a bunch of IOTA really cheap. But whether you can really hit that or not, I don't know. So that's what the experienced traders do. Us newbies, and I still consider myself a newbie, there's some other ways we can do it that are a little bit less time intensive, but you got to start learning, right? A friend of mine took profits on Bittrex because he's practicing, and that's good. We need to practice. So IOTA, keep an eye on it. I don't know if it's a great time to get in right now. It might not be a bad time because it is in a little bit of a pullback right now. And again, we don't want to buy the rise. We want to buy the dip, right? Simple stuff, people, just not easy. Because when you're buying, you don't know what the future is going to look like. All right, Litecoin. Now, Litecoin on the one-day chart is doing a similar channel to what Dash is doing on the 1 hour chart. It's just moving up steadily, and it also took a hit last night, but it bounced right back. It took much less of a hit than the others. All right, and let's look at the 1 hour chart. It's looking good, people. We'll see. You know, if it comes back down in this channel, down to 56, that's a buy, right? And it tends to go up and down in this channel. So go back to the 1 day chart. So if it comes back down, you know, here in the channel, that's a buy signal. Right now, it's a take profits or hold. And I'm going to see if I can hang in till 90 before I take some profits. Because, you know, the less money you have when you're starting out, the more you have to kind of hang in for a larger payday. If you have a larger amount, you can take profits sooner. I don't know if that makes sense, but let's keep going. NEO, last night as I went to bed, it was really coming down hard. Oh, and this was a good example of a time when I was absolutely and completely wrong, right? I pegged this. We had triple tops and we had rising bottoms, and that didn't matter. It still tanked, right? But it came down to its previous support and even pushed below that. So that's not good. There's something going on with NEO, and if I had any, if I actually owned some, I would be looking into what is going on behind the scenes. So there's a point where if your technical patterns aren't doing what it looks like they're supposed to do, or what they were going to do, or what they normally do, that's kind of an invitation to go, okay, we need to do some more fundamental research. What's going on with this project? Is there something going on in the news that I haven't heard of that's affecting it? That's really, and at the moment, I'm kind of glad I don't have NEO, because I was looking at it and going, I should probably get some somehow. But again, you can't have everything and keep an eye on it all. You got to find out what your comfort zone is and expand your comfort zone a little bit, but you also don't want to freak yourself out or get scattered and distracted, which is something that happens to me sometimes because I have a lot of different interests. I'm working on like 3 major projects right now, and sometimes, you know, it helps to have ADD in this market. When we say go, looking really sweet on the 1 day chart, and again, there's that pattern, flat topped wedge, bottoms rising. But again, we just saw in NEO, that's not a guarantee. It's just an indicator that it might be a good entry point and that you might have a better chance of it lifting than sinking. All right? Because there is pressure from below as the bottoms are rising, and then pressure being held down by these tops that are kind of holding it at, you know, this $8 range. So when we say go, may go for 9. That should be interesting. We'll see what happens. Quantum US dollar. Quantum lifted. I thought about taking profits, but I'm really long-term on Quantum. I'm long-term on Quantum, and I'm long-term on EOS. Those are my big faves. And hopefully they hold the future of cryptocurrencies. And XMR, Monero, is totally, this is a 1 day chart. I mean, there is a little wick down here, so it was affected by whatever that news was, the US dollar tether news. But boom, right back up. Right back up. So good. So that's it, people. I gave it to you. I gave it to you fairly fast, and today is Tuesday, November 21st. It is week 17. This is day 114, I think. I'm trying to keep track of the days of my 90-day challenge to go deep into the rabbit hole of Bitcoin and the altcoins, the crypto sphere. And every day I do this just to check in. And if you want to join me, I often think about things and I often talk as I go. Other days I just kind of focus right on the chart. And whether it's a buy or a sell for me, again, this is not to be construed as financial advice, but I'm walking my talk and I'm trying to show you guys what there is to learn and how you can get in fairly quickly and do this fairly safely, but you also have to expand your knowledge base pretty aggressively just to understand it. And I think that's good. I think it's healthy. It is kind of... all you need is $20. Go to Coinbase.com. There's a link below this video, and you can use my link. You'll get $10 of Bitcoin. I'll get $10 of Bitcoin if you buy $100 worth. Doesn't matter. Start with $20 on Coinbase, and it doesn't matter. You can buy Bitcoin on Coinbase. $20 of Bitcoin is $20 of Bitcoin. Litecoin, Ethereum. I would prefer, knowing now what I didn't know then. I would buy just $20 every day of one of them. $20 of Litecoin, $20 of Bitcoin, $20 of Ethereum. Then, just see what you can do. See if you can buy it. Practice looking at a chart and buying it when it's in a dip, right? And either one of those three will be in a dip at some point. Buy $20, buy $50, buy $100, whatever you can afford. Do it on some consistent basis. I did a video for the Better Man Project, which will be released in a few minutes, about paying yourself first. And I think that's really something you might want to check into, the process of taxing yourself, of taking money off the top. Whenever you get any money, like go into your wallet. If you have $100 in cash or $120, take the 20, put it aside, right? Or put that into your bank account and then take $20 and go to Coinbase and buy some coins with it. All right. And get started today because you are early. We're all still early, but it's not going to be early forever, right? Be an early adopter, be an early mover, be a mover and shaker. And you just might find that you're making yourself free in the process. So that's it for today. My name is Mark Shepard. If you like this, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe. And I love all you folks and getting some great comments from you folks. And I have a new CD out, so check that out. There'll be a link below here as well. And what else? I think that's it for today. I appreciate you guys and have a great day. Make a ton of money. Be safe. Be intelligent. Keep it all in perspective. It's just an agreement. It's just a conversation. It's something that is a way to store value and to perhaps protect it from those who would try to take it away from us. All right. Thanks so much. Peace, grooviness. Start the music. I'll see you in the next one.